Hi everyone, this is Aruni back with another video. So today's topic is going to be about embracing our failures and being positive. So when we talk about embracing failures, what comes to our mind? Well, definitely failure is not a positive word. It's not a good thing when you fail, but what I think here is that when you embrace your failures, it's when you will learn to achieve and become a successful person. So you can go around asking people who are millionaires, billionaires, or any successful person who have climbed the ladder to achieve and be successful today. It's actually because they start from the very bottom. They have failed thousands of times in order for them to achieve their goal today, to become that person that they want. So for my experience is that as a student, when I was back in elementary or when I was in high school, I was not really a bright student, okay? But when I came to tertiary education, basically in university, I realized that it is very, very important for us to fail in order to understand what are our weaknesses, what are our strengths in order to achieve our goals. So when I was back in school, I always used to fail all my subjects, like 3/4 of my subjects, okay? Because I have never had any interest in studying any of the subjects. Because I never even loved the subject, I never thought that, you know what, failing could actually failing and also being positive and being determined to work hard, to study super smart and hard in order to achieve my goal would actually make me a successful person. I never ever thought about it, honestly speaking. But now when I'm in tertiary education, right, I came to realize that it's when I fail, I realize what are my weaknesses? What am I lacking of? If I don't understand something, I should go and ask somebody who actually knows regarding a topic or a subject that I am not good with. So what I learned when I was back in A levels, right? I told you before this that I failed my A levels paper as well. So what happened was somebody actually told me um, that if you fail, they asked me like, what's the reason of your failing towards that subject? And I was like, I don't know. But when I come to think of it, I never actually asked questions in class. I never took down notes. I never really realized the importance of the subject. I don't feel like studying the subject because it's so lame, right? It's so boring, okay? The subject is so heavy and it's just too much work to handle. So I just became a bum basically, okay? I never put in the hard work. So I realized that the main thing was like I never asked questions in class and I never took down notes. If you watch my previous video the video that I spoke about studying techniques, I spoke about taking down notes and also paying attention in class, right? And so I feel like when you ask questions, you will learn where you are lacking, then you can strengthen yourself as you go along with the subject or the topic that you don't understand about. So when I came into Sergi University, right, I realized that this is my weakness and I'm gonna change it, okay? So the minute in every class I ask question from my lecturers, whatever I don't understand I clarify, even if it sounds dumb, right? It's just a silly question regarding an assignment, or if it could be about a plagiarism marks, it could be about anything, right? I never took it lightly. That's why I said that how you can embrace your failures is when you learn the hard way and then from there it brings you to the right path. So what I feel here is every individual, especially in today's generation, so many of you would come and tell me that, oh my god, I cannot ever fail my subjects because my parents are so strict, or I need to get it because I have no choice. Like, I'm either in a scholarship or I have a heavy loan that I need to pay off. I need to become the best student. But how do you become the best student? How do you get the scholarship that you want? How do you achieve these goals? How do you come up in life if you do not fail and you do not learn the hard ways? So as for me, I feel like being the top student, you need to fail. Okay, you need to think of it as like a learning process, right? Okay, so when you take it as a learning process, no matter how difficult it is, obviously it takes time, but it pays off. The hard work always pays off at the end of the day. So what you do is every time that you are feeling down, you are feeling like your mental health is about to crash, right? So when you're studying, you every time you get your results and then you feel like, oh my god, I failed this subject again, I failed this topic, I failed my midterm, I failed my assignment. Don't take it as like a guilty conscience kind of thing. Okay, what you do is you embrace it. You feel like, okay, you know what, never mind, whatever it is, it's okay to fail. It's not like I failed the entire world, right? It's not like I did something really bad and it led me to something horrible and you did some kind of criminal stuff. It's not something like that at all. It's just a subject, it's just a topic, it's just a midterm, it's just an assignment. So this is a student's experience telling you, right, that it does not matter. Fail the topic, fail the subject, learn it, embrace it, and then obviously it will hit you hard. When it hits you hard, it's when you realize how much of hard work and how smart do you need to work in order to achieve that A. Because it's not easy getting an A, okay? Being an A plus student or A student, okay, it's never easy, okay? Trust me. I know this. I have felt this throughout my entire life. Whenever I would get bad grades, I would fail. I always have a terrible mental health where it leads me to a crash, right? I would immediately crash because, like, my parents, as I was growing up, they were very, very strict and they have high expectations. They would always compare me to other students. They would say things like, if others can do it, why can't you? If the top A student can score A for their English papers or whatever paper, why can't you? So I've always thought, like, then what's the point of me doing, like, what's the point of me studying? Like, if you think like that about other kids and you feel like that kids are better, you're not motivating me to become a better person in terms of my grades, okay? But I also realize this, it's a reverse psychology, right? So when they do these things to you, you feel like, okay, you know what, I'm not good, okay? So you're lacking the motivation there. So when you lack the motivation there, it's when your mental health crashes. You feel like you can't deal with it anymore, okay? So when I went through that, when I came into tertiary education, eventually my parents started to be a bit lenient in my subjects because obviously, other than their situation that they were going through with their health and their finance, I also I did not ever fail, okay? Because I was determined. When I was doing my A levels, I failed everything to an extent where I was like, you know what? When I go into to another university and do my foundation, I am going to work so hard that it ain't gonna harm me, okay? So I made sure. So when I learned the hard way during my A levels, I changed. So basically, I did a reverse psychology on myself, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna try this kind of um I'm gonna try being a student who works so hard and studies super smart in order to achieve what I want. So being a failure student and becoming an A plus student today with a scholarship in hold, I I became crazy, okay? Like, you wouldn't even believe me for a second when I tell you this. I studied so hard day and night with full like I motivated my own, okay? I did not let that mental stress or mental anxiety or any sort of mental health issues to destroy me at that time. I thought to myself, I always tell myself, right? You know what, Aruni? It's okay if you fail. It's okay if you fail, but you're gonna have to work yourself towards this. If you want to get scholarship, this is what I did during foundation, right? I told myself that if you want to get a scholarship, you have to work so hard. Don't care about Netflix, don't care about social media, don't care about your friends, don't care about nobody, okay? Because at the end of the day, nobody is coming to you. You have to do that for yourself. If you want to be an A plus student with a scholarship in hand, you need to work super hard. So I did that, and I proved to myself that I am not the useless, worthless person that I was like 10, 15 years ago, or like when I was back in high school. I am a total different person right now. When I look at myself, like every semester, if one of my grades go down, right, I'll be like, oh no, what happened? Like, what went wrong? So I would take a step back and I would reflect on my mistakes. I would reflect on the subject or the assignment, or like I I would reflect on the semester, and I'd be like, okay, you know what? This is where I lacked. These are my weaknesses. Okay, you know what? This semester, I'm not gonna let it happen again. I start the semester off so like, okay, I start the semester start strong. Like, always make sure that you start your semester strong. Do not let any mental health issues to destroy you at that moment, because when you start strong, you will be able to curve the ball like this, okay? Curve the ball as in like not go from top to bottom, like as in like when you go from the top to bottom, you start strong, you end well, okay? You end well. So when you finish your finals, you will end smooth. You won't end like what do you call this, like midlife crisis, okay? Midlife crisis is like this, and then you go like this, and then the arrow is like never ending. You're just sparking out of nowhere, okay? You don't want yourself to spark, you want yourself to shine. You want to become the extraordinary diamond that shines around your friend circle, or even your classmates, or even in the whole university. So in order for you to do that, you always have to embrace whatever negativity, negative thoughts, negative feedbacks, negative criticism, whatever negative, always take a step back and embrace it. Enjoy the moment and feel like, you know what? Motivate yourself. Always try to motivate yourself. Do your best. Never say like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna try to do this today. Try? Like, what do you mean try? There's no such thing in the dictionary. Like, if you ask, right, like, me as a person, I always do my best by saying not the word try. When you say, okay, you know, I'm gonna try my best to do my midterm today, or I'm gonna try my best to sit for the finals paper today, you don't know whether you will actually get the marks that you want or not. So always start off like positive, right? always say, I'm gonna do my best. And even if the person if the people around you are gonna be like, you know what, I know you have studied and you just try to do your best today. No matter what, I'll be proud of you. Like your parents would usually use that, or your friends would usually use that kind of term. Try your best. Don't let that thing ever hit you. Okay, like when my parents tell me sometimes, when they text me or they call me, and when we talk over the phone, and they tell me like, you know what, try your best to do your paper. I know you have studied so hard for the paper, and then I know you can like try, you just try to do your best. Okay, just don't feel stressed, don't feel panic, just do it. Like, just try to do your best. And I'd be like, try? What try? Like, I know I have studied, I'm not being overconfident here, but I have worked so hard to get to where I want. Why should I try some more? So I'm just going to do my best for the paper, and we'll see what the results come after that, right? So even like what many students make mistake is, in the beginning of the semester they always start the wrong way. They always start so weak, and then they're like, you know what, let's just chill, let's just relax, it's just the beginning of the semester, we want to party, right? But then if you start a semester like that, what do you think is going to happen to you? In the when all your assignments starts hitting you so hard, your mental health is going to be like, when it's supposed to be happy mood, you're going to go like stagnant, or you're going to spike out of nowhere, and you're going to be like, shit, what am I going to do right now? I don't even know what am I going to do. Like, you're so overwhelmed at that moment, you feel like you're going to die anytime, right? So if you don't have a friend who would influence you well, you don't have your parents who would motivate you, your parents are so strict, right? Then just don't circle yourself with that people in the beginning of the semester. If you feel like your friends are not going to, I always want to tell this, right? We always think like our friends are going to motivate us in the beginning of the semester and stuff like that. Never, ever, okay? They are so jealous of you. If you start to do well, they always be jealous of you. And you give advice to them and you tell them, like, no, you need to work hard in the beginning of the semester. They'll be like, what the hell is wrong with you, right? Why should I start the semester like, why do I need to work immediately so hard? It's just the first week of the semester, and the lecturers are still briefing on the assignments. We haven't even started lecture yet. So what? I mean, the question is, so what, right? Like, I'm asking, I'd be like, what are you even talking about? Like, seriously, you think that just because the semester, the lecturer has just briefed us with the subject and the assignments, you think like you don't need to work hard? Are you out of your damn mind? Like, I always think to like whichever friend that comes to me and tell me that, I mean, like, are you out of your damn mind? Like, okay, fine, you want to go and do whatever you want to do, go ahead. I'm not gonna let, if it's a group assignment, right, I'm not gonna let anybody take that away from me. I am going to do my part, and if that person doesn't do, I'm going to go and complain to the lecturer or the teacher, right? That's the kind of person I am. If that person don't want to do their part, fine, I will do it, and I'll take credits for it. You don't have to take credits for whatever it is, because it's not like you felt like you wanted to do the assignment, right? Even though your parents are paying for your tuition fees and stuff like that, you just want to take everything for granted at the end of the day. So I always tell this, like, if you start the semester strong, guaranteed, right? It's that miracle doesn't happen out of nowhere. You have to create the miracle. So in order for miracles to happen, for you to be lucky, you need to surround yourself with good people, And always be positive. Don't always think the negative thought, like, such as like, you know what, I am exhausted, I can't deal with this. You know what, like, my friends are going for shopping, I'm gonna go for shopping with them. I mean, I'm not telling you that you can't, you can, but there's like a boundary, okay? This is where students always lack. They don't know where to set the boundary, they go overboard with it, and when the semester hits to the middle and when there's so much of deadlines piling up, they realize, like, where am I going to start? Where am I going to start? And then they ask for extensions from the lecturer, because they don't know how to find a balance, and then they go haywire. And then that's when they come and be like, Aruni, what am I gonna do? Well, you screwed up in the first place, you know? And then when they get bad grades, and then when I ask them, like, what grades do you get? Like, how's your GPA or your CGPA and stuff like that? They're like, Aruni, I don't want to tell you. Or they're hesitant, or they're like, they start smirking and they're like, I don't know. And then I'm like, okay, you know what? I just knew this was going to happen in the first place, right? Because knowing how they start in the beginning of the semester, I can definitely tell how they would be in the middle and at the end of the semester. If they don't start strong, they'll always go down like this, and it leads to nowhere. And then when they come with bad grades, it's when they realize that they have done something wrong, and by the time it happens, it's too late. So it's always better to fix your problems in the beginning than fixing your problems at the end. When you fix your problems at the end, you are either putting yourself into more failures, or you are trying to make yourself to fall into more stress and more pain than you initially started with. That is where many students make the mistake and feel like we don't know what we're doing anymore. And then most of them want to quit. You know, I have known so many, like, not so many, like a few good students right now in my university, in my class, in my batch. Such good students. At the end of the day, just because they have the stress, they go through so much of mental health issues that they don't even have the motivation to drive them to a proper flow of thought to study. They are such bright students. Even the lecturers are like, why did the student drop to the last minute? Like, why did they quit their studies? They have such bright futures. Well, because of this problem. Nowadays, because of the mental health issues that we are going through, a lot of us cannot embrace failures. We cannot take up criticism. We cannot take feedbacks from anybody. And then we take everything too personal. This is the problem with our generation, right? And then we always think the negative, okay? The sixth part is like the most crucial thing, which is very, very simple, okay? It's very small. It's just a very small thing, which is being positive. Always be positive of yourself. Always put a very good mindset when you're starting off a semester, or your classes, or your work. Like, if you're going to work every day, you need to have a good mindset. You can't just go to work and be like, oh my god, you know what, I have to deal with this shit again. Yeah, well, you know what, I've had those days as well where I feel so shitty to go to work and stuff like that. But that does not stop me, you know. I'm currently like going through my internship right now, and do you know how much of shit I go through in my life? But does that ever stop me and think to myself and be like, you know what, I'm gonna quit my job. I'm gonna like stay at home and be a bum. No, I don't do that thing. That's the thing. Like, so many of us do that thing. Like, you know, there's so many, the reason why there's so many fresh graduates out there who work in one company for 2 years, and after 2 years they go and look for another job, or less than 6 months sometimes they even move from one job to another job, is because of this problem. Nobody can handle anything. They cannot handle a single stress that fall into their brain, and everything, I've noticed this, right? Like everything that they do at work, it's so painful for me as a person who motivates myself always. I always motivate myself, right? And when I go to work and I see people who can't even motivate themselves, they are like haywire everywhere the place, to an extent where I feel like, what the hell is going on with this person? Are they alright? Are they in their right state of mind in the first place? Like, they need a vacation, or they need to like take a break from this, because it drives other people insane. They don't know how to take care of themselves. They don't know how to control themselves, right? Unlike our forefathers, like our great grandparents or grandparents time, they were incredible people to work with. I always feel like I belong in the old, like I'm so called the old school kind of person. Okay, a lot of them feel like this girl belongs to the wrong generation. Yeah, obviously I belong to the wrong generation, but this is what I feel like. Like the people back in those days, they worked so hard to achieve where they want, and us nowadays, just because of the mindset that we have, it drives us crazy. It drives not only us crazy, but it drives other people crazy also. Like the people around them can't even feel motivated to work because of them. It's just painful to watch, and it's painful for other people to even be around that kind of person, you know. When this not only applies to when you go and work with colleagues, right? It also applies to your own friends in university or in school, where they feel so demotivated. They come with you with a bunch of problems, and they're like, I failed my midterms, I failed this subject, I cannot deal with this thing, I failed my assignment. But you come to me and you tell me that, I'm going to tell you the same advice I tell you every single semester, which is embrace one-time failure and work on that failure. Do better the next semester. You know, if you don't do that, it's when you drill yourself to a very deep hole and you can't get out of it. So my best advice to all youngsters nowadays, not only youngsters, okay, people who are in their 20s, 30s, whoever it is, okay, this applies to everybody in general. You always need to stay determined. And then I'm gonna tell every time, okay, every single video of mine, you're gonna hear me say the word determined, work hard, work smart, because that's the kind of quote I always live on, and it has actually proven to me that it works. So if it works on me, it can definitely work on you. So I'm gonna tell you, this is always embrace whatever problems, whatever obstacles that comes to you. Embrace the failures and embrace the pain that comes, that you're feeling, whatever emotions, the mental issues that you're going through. Embrace everything, work on it, and you will see marvelous things happen in your life. Not only you would feel lucky, not only you would feel like you are doing well in your life, not only you would be successful in your life, but you shouldn't ever forget that in life nothing comes free, nothing comes as it is, nothing comes just like it drops from the sky to you and you feel like you uh, deserves everything. Okay, deserve there's so much of things where this generation feels that they are entitled to get and entitled to have out of nowhere without working hard. It's impossible. Okay, so about being entitled, it's a whole different other story. If I were to give you a motivation speech on not being entitled, it's gonna be really long. Okay, it's gonna be like this video. Okay, so that's all for now that I have to tell you. This is Aruni signing off. Peace.